Okay, making this video about the cold steel Chinese war sword modification. Now this is a pretty expensive sword. For a pretty expensive sword, sure it comes very, very dull. The whole problem is that cold steel, when they made these, they advertised this can cut through bones and bamboos and all that stuff. So what they did is right at the edge area, on the convex, they put a big wide bevel. Now over here, before the handle, halfway to the blade is okay. It gets really bad at where the cutting edge is. This part, it just has, you guys can probably see the excessive roundness. Now what I usually, a lot of people say, well, that's just, you know, the convex of it. No, big. To me, it's what I call a invisible bevel. What they do is with this wind roundness right at the edge, and then get to the actual cutting edge. By doing that, that extra roundness wind the entry angle to about, I'm roughly estimating about 45 degrees. This thing is actually very horrible cutting soft targets like bottles or, you know, anything like mats or whatever. I mean, mats you can power through it, but pretty much basically you're just like tearing through it. If you see my video, you'll see that the result is not that great. So right now I'm in the stage 1. What I'm doing right now is basically on the rough stone, and this is to show you guys how to modify basically your sword for better, not necessarily for, like, you know, sharpness, excessive sharpness, but just better cutting. Now, since cold steel already put a secondary bevel on this, now a lot of people might think I'm just, you know, talking out of my ass, but if you ever got one of these swords or cold steel swords, or Hung or whatever, you'll see you just have to pay real close attention to the edge, and you'll know that cross section is about like maybe 45 degrees or so, because they have extra excessive roundness right at the edge, and there's a simple reason they do that is because they don't want you to chip the edge. I mean, you know, you can hack into hard stuff or whatever, you know, and so that way you won't chip it. So the trick to do this, first step, is basically you want to change the entry angle. Now I'm talking about this is for guys who are backyard cutters, who cut bottles or mats, beach mats and stuff like that. You can do this with your katana. It would probably be the same thing, but although katana, it's a little more different because the katana has niku. You know, a regular shinogi zukuri with niku, it might be a little more difficult, and then usually it's more painstaking, because this one already has a real thin blade. Look at that. So, you know, it's a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so right now, basically what you want to do is get on the rough stone and start to build a new edge on it at, you know, approximately 20 degrees, yeah, real close to the stone, real flat, close to the stone, and then just, you know, start, you know, gradually draw it through, and then try to build a new edge on it. Okay, basically, right now it's the cold steel Chinese war sword second stage. Basically, I have re-edged it to be about like 20 degrees or so. You can see the second bevel on there. Now, right now, this one cuts just fine. Should be posting a video with it just on the second bevel. You know, getting it right at 20 degrees on both sides. It's extremely sharp, and then it's able to go through no issues, you know, on bottles or whatever. Before it would just knock it flying. This is more like a heavy cutter where you use to hack into stuff. Basically, I'm trying to change it to a more finesse cutter and also be able to handle, you know, some heavy hard targets. But for now, basically with the geometry completely changed on the entry angle. Now, in the beginning, basically what cold steel does is right at the edge area, they put a invisible bevel. Basically, that widens the entry angle to about like maybe 45, 50 degrees. So it's very hard to cut soft targets, single mats, or anything like that. Just, you know, it's probably like, you know, like in their commercial, they want you to hack into, you know, bones and stuff like that, handle it, because it has such wide angles, like almost like a baseball bat. So anyway, just wanted to show that, okay, so I create that second bevel. The third stage basically is blend in that bevel. Like I say, it cuts fine now. The blade itself is not real a wide angle blade, so you know, even with second bevel, it cuts fine. But if you want to even take that step further, then you start to blend in the bevel. Now this side is what I did basically. You can see right now, you don't see much of that second bevel. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm just blending in. So you can still see a little bit, but basically I have to change that somewhat of a flat grind into a convex. Okay, so basically just blend in. Now I know the entry angle is fine. Basically just smooth out that angle right here, so it'll be perfectly smooth. You can use, the trick is you use your finger at the edge right here. Be careful about the sharp edge. Just kind of move up on it. Move up on it. Now, if you move up on it and then you feel the restriction of the bevel, and then you know it's not rounded smooth enough. But right now, since we're here, I move up, feel no restrictions. I mean, I feel the roundness, but that's fine. That's not going to give you much restriction. The angle itself is too steep to actually cause a problem. So now, if you want to take a step further, you continue to blend this off and then continue to bring this part down. Now, the trick to do this is you get a sandpaper. Now, I usually try using only 80 grit. And you go at a 45-degree angle. Slide off like that. Now, but you can go up and down like that to kind of just blend in this whole area so it'll be perfectly smooth. See that? Perfectly smooth. And then you know that roundness is okay because the entry angle is fine. It's at 20 degrees. So right now, after you're done with this side, like I say, if you want to take that entry angle a little further, you can just get on there more to get it even narrower if you want. But I don't think it's necessary for the cutting that we're trying to do. So after I finish blending, now I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, this is after the cold steel Chinese war sword, after the bevel blend in. Now right here appears to be a bevel just because the way the lines shine on it. But basically I have blended in. If you look, once I turn the blade, it's just perfectly smooth. So no restrictions. However, the whole modification is to change the entry angle right here at the edge, because initially cold steel had a even rounder bevel right here close to the edge. So right now everything is smoothed out. You can see, and then same thing on the other side. Smoothed out. See, no bevel. Perfectly smooth. Basically just put the convex back in check. This is after the bevel has been blended in. So even though it's a wire, but before couldn't achieve this, mainly it would just, the bevel still put a little bit of restriction on it.